One of the most disgusting stories, to be honest, is that of Na'ila and Assaf. Na'ila and Assaf. Na'ila and Assaf were two idols. Na'ila was put on Safa and Assaf was put on Marwa. And so the Quraysh, when they did tawaf, they would touch Na'ila and Assaf when they're going back and forth. When Islam came, the Muslims felt hesitant. How can we do sa'i when it's meant to commemorate Na'ila and Assaf? So Allah revealed in the Quran, the verses that we all know, Inna Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. Safa and Marwa are holy before Na'ila and Assaf were put there. Safa and Marwa are from the signs of Allah, before Na'ila and Assaf ever came. Safa and Marwa are from the signs of Allah. So whoever does Hajj, then let him, there is no sin on you if you do tawaf, i.e. sa'i, between them. There's no sin, meaning don't feel guilty. There's no evil in Safa and Marwa. What is Na'ila and Assaf? Aisha says that since we were children, we were hearing the story of Na'ila and Assaf, the legends that they have. Na'ila and Assaf, may Allah forgive us for even narrating such disgusting things, but this is what the books of history say. They were two lovers, male and female. Na'ila and Assaf, Assaf is the male and Na'ila is the female. There were two lovers, and they could not find a place to be intimate because they were not married, except the interior of the Kaaba. So they consummated their romance inside the Kaaba. And as a punishment, Allah destroyed them and solidified and petrified them right then and there. Now when the Quraysh came across them, they actually took them as a miracle. And they put these two on Safa and Marwa. And that is why the Muslims said, how can we do sa'i between Safa and Marwa? So Allah said, look, Safa and Marwa have nothing to do with Na'ila and Assaf. So this is the story of Na'ila and Assaf. Again, it shows you the paganism that the Jahili Arabs were upon. And we also know that when the Prophet ﷺ conquered Mecca, there were around 360 idols around the Kaaba. 360 idols of various shapes and sizes. Some idols were in the shape of full humans. Some were in the shape of animals. Most of them were in the shape of half human, half animal. And you know, to this day, the children's fairy tales, half horse and half, human and half lion, and just like the Sphinx of Egypt or, the centaurs, this type of theology. We read in the books of history that most of these idols were humanoid. A little bit of human, a little bit of animal. And they would then put these statues around the Kaaba. Also, we learn that the Quraysh had the theology that Allah has daughters, and that these daughters are His angels. And they would worship the angels. They would worship the angels thinking that these are the daughters of Allah. So they would consider the angels to be the daughters of Allah. Now the Arabs did not have a specified theology. They didn't have a creed. We as Muslims, we have a creed. We believe in Allah and the angels, the Day of Judgment, Qadr. We have a creed. We need to understand that societies that are idolatrous, paganistic societies, they don't have creeds. For example, Hindus are the most clear example of idolatrous religion. Hindus don't have creeds. If you ask 10 different Hindus what their religion is, you'll get 10 different answers, right? Because there is no unified creed. There's no aqidah, as we call it. And one Hindu can worship one God, another can worship another God, and you can have 6 million Hindus worshipping 6 million gods, different. And each one has a different perception of what his God can or cannot do. This is all legit in their religion because there's no unified creed. The same goes for the Arabs, that there was no unified creed. Many of them believed in a Day of Judgment, many of them denied it. Many of them believed this, many of them didn't. There's no unified creed. But the one thing that they all agreed upon is that we need to worship these idols to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have some form of idolatry. Does this mean that the entire society was idolatrous? No. History records that there were some exceptions to this rule. And it is very interesting to look at these exceptions and to derive some benefit and wisdom from this.